Hello?
Josh, what's up, man? It's Dillon.
Hey, how's it going, man?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, it's good to talk to you, man. It's been a long time since I've been able to promote what you're doing, so it's
I know. Yeah. It's been a while, man. It's been over a year. So.
No, it's all good, man. I mean, the first time, of course, being with Neuralizer, and now for your solo stuff. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, man. Definitely progressed a lot since the band, and I got some cool new stuff coming out that I'm hoping everyone's gonna like.
Oh, very cool. So, just so I'm familiar with what was going on, because it kind of happened not too soon after the interview, you left Neuralizer. What happened?
Well, basically what happened with Neuralizer was we were all kind of in different places in our lives at that time, and I mean, you know how it is. But, 1 minute everything's tight, and the next minute, everyone's lives are starting to go a different way. At that time, I really just wanted to focus on my solo music and kind of start getting out the songs that I'm getting out now and stuff that you've actually heard. I've been jamming with those guys again recently. We've been trying to jam, once a week. Again, schedules are hectic. Everyone's super busy. But I am jamming with those guys again. It's just at that time, it was time to, just take a break and maybe go on a hiatus. I don't know if Neuralizer will become Neuralizer again. Maybe we'll have a different name, or maybe we'll just jam. I have no idea. It's still in the beginning stages again. So yeah.
Well, that's great to hear, because, I could tell when you guys were doing the show that I saw at Studio B. I mean, it seemed like there was a lot of chemistry going on there, so I'm glad to see that you're at least jamming with those guys again, even if nothing comes of it or becomes full-on Neuralizer again or whatever the situation is. I'm glad to see that you are working in a band context again as well.
No, man, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, those guys are awesome. I love those guys to death, and, when I left the band, it was on good terms. They totally... I know if I had decided to come back anytime at that point, they would have embraced me with open arms. But, we all have respect for each other, because we all are, we all have goals and dreams of our own and everything. And, the thing about Neuralizer is, if you're going to be in that band, that band's like a full-on, you got to devote your whole time into it. It has to be priority number one. And for me, KatoAppear is priority number one. So when you have two priority number ones, that's when things start to get, hectic, and it just becomes too much, and eventually one's gonna go over the other. And with Neuralizer, that just can't happen. So yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I know that's very true of me, where I feel the most comfortable just being in one band because of pretty much what you just said. When you devote your time into more than one project, you have to split up that amount of time, and then eventually one band becomes more of a priority than the other band. And unless that band's okay with that, then it's not going to work out so good in the end.
Right. Yeah. When it comes to being in multiple bands, because I'm actually jamming with another band right now, which I'll talk about them in a bit if you're interested in hearing about that.
Oh, absolutely.
But, it's a lot of times nowadays, if I have anything to do with bands, I let them know right at the beginning that, this could be, we can be doing this for a little bit, and then all of a sudden I have to leave and head over this way, kind of a thing. There's no attachment. I can't really be attached to anything other than my solo stuff anymore, just because I'm too busy with everything else that I'm doing, with all my solo music and all the animation that I'm making. And everybody has been super respectful of that, and I couldn't be more appreciative.
Well, it's definitely the best way to be, too, when you're in a situation like you are. I mean, having those bands be respectful and understanding of your main priorities, that's definitely the best way to go about things.
Yes, exactly.
And of course, we're here to talk about your solo project, KatoAppear.
Yep.
What I gotta know is, how did this all come to be?
It came from, I want to say the project started when I was about 17 years old, and it didn't really escalate and start getting put out to the world until I was about 20, when my first couple music videos came out. And really, it was just, I had been, all through my high school and middle school, I had been writing metal songs, and I just wrote metal for 6-7 years straight, and I kind of got tired of it, and this project allowed me to kind of venture into other styles, because all my friends and all the bands that I had anything to do with were all metal, and they didn't really want to venture out of that too much. And I wasn't really known in the local music scene very much. So nowadays I have friends in almost all genres of music. But the solo project really came from me just wanting to venture into different styles of music, but still blend it with heavy metal music, because metal is going to be with me probably forever. I don't see that style ever leaving my sound. but I wanted to be able to blend other stuff. I wanted to be able to do like like ambient music and kind of electronical stuff and acoustic, soft guitar music, and I do a little bit of hip hop and just stuff like that. Just stuff where I can really venture and blend my styles, just so that I can feel constantly inspired. Because when I felt like for a while I was kind of it was just great, and I just wasn't feeling inspired anymore. So nowadays I have limitless boundaries as far as how I write my music, and one song can be like a Euro dance pop song, the next song can be a super heavy death metal song. It doesn't really matter anymore. And just that freedom is super liberating, and it's been something that I've wanted for years.
Yeah, to me, that is the freshest music that's out there, is when an artist or a band will literally have no limitations on the music that they make, because you never know what's going to be inspired at the time, and there's no reason to throw out a good idea just because you don't think it will fit. I mean,
right.
Just like listening to what I've heard from you so far, I mean, you literally don't have any limitations on your music, and that is just so fantastic to hear.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Oh, not a problem. I mean, from your latest EP that's going to be coming out, I've only got the chance to hear the song that you sent me so far, which I do have on the show this week. I will be sending it off to all the radio stations tonight, and then it will start airing tomorrow. My girlfriend got a chance to check out the song, and she said it was like a good blend of Devin Townsend meets Stabbing Westward, which I think is a pretty good representation of that song, but I know that you got so many different styles in you, and it's just so great to see.
Yeah, no, hey man, I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. But no, I'm really happy that you guys dig the track. I've shown a few other people, and a few of my other friends have said that they think it's some of my best work, and that's pretty big for me to have some of my closest buddies tell me that this is like up to par, and it's I'm just getting better and better, because I personally feel like that. I know every artist says that they feel like their newest work is better and better, but honestly I feel like this EP that's going to come out is going to be the best that I've done so far, and I'm excited to eventually start playing shows with these songs as well. So yeah.
Oh, very much so. I mean, another great way to put it that I've heard a lot of bands starting to say lately is that a particular release is the best representation of that artist at the time. Like, that was what they're most inspired by at the time, what they felt was the perfect album to put out. And I think that might be a good way to put this out as well, because I can only see you getting bigger and better from here, and this is a great representation of where you are right now.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I always, anytime I get like a thumbs up from you, I like literally brag to everybody about it, because I'm just like, because you're a pretty big figure, I think, in the local scene, and we, like, us artists, we need you. Like, I don't think the other local bands realize it, but we need you. And for you, because I know you're a pretty tough critic. I feel like you've set the bar high, which you get a right to. Everyone gets a right to, right? But for you to have the stamp of approval is a huge honor to me. Honestly, man, I really appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem, man. And I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it either, because if I wasn't digging what you're doing, I would at least like try to give you more criticism or something like that, but it's just, I love what you're doing so far. I mean,
awesome.
and again, I cannot say it enough. The fact that you have no limitations on your music means that it can expand into any territory, which means that it can only be the realest form of what you can do, because there are no limitations.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to the writing process, I mean, you are pretty much playing everything on there, except for, I'm assuming you're programming the drums, right?
Yep, I have an electric drum kit, but I mean, electric drum kits are great, and I have actually recorded with the kit, but I can't. For one, some of this playing I can't actually do yet. I'm not that good. And just another thing too is it's just like you'll be playing perfectly, and sometimes it'll miss some of your hits, and that's just aggravating.
Oh yeah.
But right now I'm using Drum Kit from Hell, which is an awesome program. And I just basically build up a lot of it in there, and I try to, now that I've been playing drums for a few years myself, I feel like I think more like a drummer. And because one thing I try to avoid with program drums, and I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but I just want to put this out there to anyone that'll listen.
Oh, sure.
Is I notice a lot of people when they make program drums, they make it so ridiculously over the top that almost any real drummer can't actually play that. And it becomes Tyler of Neuralizer had stated that himself, and I mean, Tyler's an amazing drummer, and for him to say something like that is just like, well, he's got to be right. So, for me, I try to make it as close to realistic drumming as possible. I don't want the fill to be so over the top that it's just like, this crazy fill, and then all of a sudden now it's blasting, which is, I try to keep it realistic. That's my main thing about doing drums. But yeah, other than that, I do all the guitar stuff, and I do all the bass and all the vocals and everything, and I just kind of open up a Pro Tool session, and it just kind of starts from there. Sometimes I'll have ideas, sometimes I'll have no ideas. I just open up a session and stare at it blankly until something comes to me. But it's a fairly easy process for me nowadays. I've been doing it for years, and I think repetition is like the father of learning. So if you keep doing your thing, you're just going to get better and better and better. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. And having a great tool like Drum Kit from Hell, I mean, if it's good enough for Devin and it's good enough for Meshuggah, it's got to be good enough for KatoAppear.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if it's good enough for those guys, it's definitely good enough for me.
Oh, definitely. But the great thing about what you're doing is you are literally doing everything. I mean, there's no outside influence that I'm aware of so far. I mean, you're playing all the instruments, you're programming the drums, and you're singing as well.
Yep.
I never realized that you were as good of a singer as you were, because I've only known you for being able to play guitar. Where did the vocals come about?
Well, it's kind of funny, and you can see I have right now, I have 6 EPs out before this 7th one comes out. And what you'll notice in these EPs is you'll notice 2 or 3 things. You'll notice the production slowly getting better, you'll notice the songwriting getting better, and you'll notice my vocals getting better. I started really, I want to say singing and screaming. I started really doing it once I was 18 years old. And I slowly started to, dive into different singers. And then I discovered people like Devin Townsend, for example, who is just, in my opinion, for me personally, he's the best male vocalist I've ever heard in metal. And I wanted to emulate that style so much, and I constantly would practice off of him. I practiced off people like Corey Taylor. I'd practice off the guy from Gojira. I would practice off these singers, and I would watch a lot of videos. And I also had vocal lessons from the phenomenal Melissa Furlack, who's just an amazing singer overall. Her opera singing is just out of this world, and she had a lot of really good tips on how to get that kind of rasp to melodic singing, and it just took a long time. And plus, I do on a good day, if my throat's up to it, I'll do about 15-20 minutes of vocal warm up. And I think recording yourself, listening to yourself rather than just hearing yourself as you're doing it, has been super helpful for me. But yeah, my vocals have just been I feel like they're getting better and better, and I'm having more control. And I think it's and the rest of the CP. There's only 3 tracks on the CP, but the other track on here is another good representation of my vocal work too. So pretty excited.
Oh, very cool. I mean, I am a big fan of your vocal styling, and if you join in another full-time band outside of your solo stuff, I hope that you do bring your vocal representation into it as well, because I think it works in pretty much any context that you would be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually going to bring up a band I'm jamming with. There was a band that was in before Neuralizer, and we were called Dark Cell, and we were a super industrial death metal band, and that band has actually started to resurrect. I quit that band back in 2012 for pretty much similar reasons as I quit Neuralizer, but I just started jamming with those guys again, and we're going to be playing a whole bunch of our old material, and we're covering a bunch of Gwar songs, so that's going to be awesome, and hopefully we'll be performing in the next couple months. But I want to throw that out there too, because I'm doing a lot of vocal work in that, but a lot of the vocal work I'm doing in that band is much more like my death metal kind of screaming. It's not so much that raspy melody singing that I like to do. It's more like the death metal screaming. But yeah, I had to put that out there because I'm really excited about this happening again, because that band's awesome. So.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if you guys are playing any shows around the Twin Cities or anything like that, I would definitely love to check you guys out.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely hit you up. You know that.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, it's just I remember the first time that I actually realized that you sung was when I can't remember if it was just a Facebook video or you put it up on YouTube as well, and I'll be beeping this out since this will be on FM, but when you did the scream from Shitstorm, it's like, holy shit, how the hell can he sing like that? I never knew that.
Yeah, that was a pretty intense scream, and I remember afterwards, I had to take a minute because I had a super head rush, and I don't really understand how Devin does those long screams like that for that long. There's got to be something that he does, because I mean that's wild, doing screams that long. Like, you literally afterwards you feel like you're about to pass out.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Devin too, because he's playing guitar at the same time as doing those screams as well, which makes it even more insane.
Yeah, that man. I don't know what to say.
Oh, of course, we could just make this whole interview just like talking about like Devin and Steven Wilson and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, man. It's just it's just conversation, brother. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think those make for the best interviews, is when it's like a conversation rather than me having a script and all right, Dillon Barnes from Wisconsin with KatoAppear. How did you start? You know,
right.
Yeah, those are just boring, and it's not even fun to listen to.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward to watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, very much so. But getting back into KatoAppear, again, you are playing everything that's on the EP. When you're playing bass, do you feel the need to match what you're doing on the guitar, or do you feel like the bass just needs to keep the rhythm, or how do you go about that when you're playing bass?
Well, with the bass guitar, honestly, I'm morely, as of right now, because I don't actually own a bass. Every time I record a bass, I always have to borrow a bass from one of my buddies. If I owned a bass, I would put more time into like writing a lot of like, you know, maybe intricate bass lines. But right now, it's really just keeping the rhythm, because the thing is I am playing 8-string guitars, and a lot of the low end is already captured with that 8-string. So the bass is really just a thickening, just a little bit more of a fullness behind what the 8-string guitars are already doing. Nothing, you know, I was, again, like I said, I'd love to have more intricate bass parts, but I don't actually own a bass, and oftentimes I don't have time to really sit around and write intricate bass parts to songs that are already finished, because I've got to just kind of keep going and going and going. So, because I have pretty strict deadlines, I don't like to sit on songs for too long. So that's where I'm at with bass right now. It's just keeping it just kind of another rhythmic foundation, another layer. So yeah.
Oh, very cool. So, also again, with the keyboards and the background sounds and all of that stuff, I mean, how does that all come about? It's about, like, picking which notes, which sounds to put into the songs? That really all happens. A lot of that extra sprinkling that I like to do in the song, that all kind of comes around once, like, the guitars and the bass and, like, the drums and the vocals are done. Once, like, the foundation of the song is done, then I start to do that kind of stuff. And that stuff really just comes out of, like, whatever keys I'm having to play in on the guitar. And I kind of, it's all, for me, it's more about layering, because a lot of my stuff, you know, I'm pretty much known as, like, a very, like, quote-unquote, like, technical guitarist, and I have, like, you know, really complicated sounding music, but a lot of my stuff is actually quite simple. A lot of the guitar stuff is really simple, and it's just the guitar solos that are ridiculous. But yeah, a lot of it's just layering. So when I do the keyboard stuff, I'm really just doing a lot of layering stuff, and I listen to a lot of artists who, they're the type of artist, and you know who I'm talking about. I mean, we could name a few right now. But the type of artist that every time you listen to their song, you hear something that you didn't hear the last time you listened to it. It's just, that's what I want to do with my music. I want to put so much into each song that every time there's always like some subtle new experience that you didn't experience the last time you listened to it. And that's where like a lot of the keyboard stuff and a lot of the stuff in the all like the background layering and stuff comes from, is just having this big wall of sound that is just you know, blows right into your brain right when you put it in the headphones. So that's where that all kind of stems from. And it, again, with writing the keyboard stuff, it's just with whatever keys I'm playing in on the guitar. If I'm playing in E or, you know, C or whatever, that's basically what I base all my keyboard stuff off of. Oh, very cool. I mean, it definitely sounds like it's a great process that you're going through with everything as far as the instrumentation and the vocal melodies and all that stuff. How long did it take for this EP to come about, for the whole writing process?
It's taken, I mean, to write the songs out, it really only takes me, I mean, like a day, honestly. It takes me a day to write like one full song, but to really like, really get all the layering down and to, you know, I mean, because sometimes, especially with vocals take the longest to record, because they're my least favorite thing to do. I love listening to them afterwards, but I hate doing them because they're hard to do and it takes forever. But, you know, I get the song done in probably like a day, and then I, you know, just slowly start to add different things and add certain melodies, and I start to write lyrics, and then I start recording like the finalized parts, and then you start, you know, ditching like the longest process about this whole thing because you have so much happening. I mean, you've got like 50 plus tracks in the session at least, and you've got so much to mix, and you've got so much to like compress and make sure, because if you don't mix it right, it's just a big mesh. And even to this day, I'm still getting better at production and stuff, and I'm still learning. I feel pretty confident about my mixes though, but yeah, really the longest part about it is recording all the sections, like recording guitars, vocals, and everything. The songwriting part actually goes fairly quick.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing that a lot of people seem to forget about, is just like sometimes a song will take a very long time to get fully written. Sometimes it just comes right out of the bat. But when you're recording it, that is usually the longest process, because you want to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect, and you want to make sure it's exactly the way you want it to be. Right. But yeah, it's fantastic to be able to promote your 7th EP, which will be coming out. Let people know where you can get it.
Well, first of all, it's going to be coming out in probably mid-September. I don't have an exact date, but mid-September, late September at the latest. So we're going to shoot around like September 15th is when I'm going to have it released. And where you can get it is, it's going to be on my SoundCloud. It'll be, most likely, I'll have a full stream on my YouTube page. It'll be on my Facebook page. And how you can find me and all that is, I can't ever remember like the domain names or anything. So I'm just gonna be, you go into Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, or even Twitter, type in KatoAppear. I'll be literally the first person that pops up. And you'll be able to find out on all those. And I'm going to be uploading it on my Bandcamp. I just created a Bandcamp, and I'm going to be probably promoting it more on there than anywhere, because I think it seems to be more accessible on Bandcamp from my experience in SoundCloud. So,
yeah, Bandcamp, I feel, is probably the best representation that a band without a label can have right now, because it's such a huge source right now. You can set the price of whatever you want it to sell the album. Sometimes you can do it free. It's unlimited streaming. It's a great connection source.
Right.
And would you be putting the other EPs as well on Bandcamp as well?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be putting all of my EPs on Bandcamp. I think I'm probably going to put my last one, which was the Imperial Spear. I'll probably put that one up because I'm very proud of that one, and that one's also very recent. And I'll probably be and then I absolutely will be putting up the brand new one, which is titled The Beginning of the Katoverse. And so it'll be those two EPs, and then the rest of my EPs will be on my SoundCloud, which will be like strictly free downloads. The Imperial Spear and The Beginning of the Katoverse you'll be able to purchase, or free download, whichever. But I think these last couple EPs are definitely more worthy of being purchased than those older ones. So that's my stance on that.
Oh, very cool. I mean, I'll definitely be looking forward to it. I'm honored that I'm able to promote everything that's going on here. Is there any work yet on an 8th EP, or are you just relaxing right now, putting up the finishing touches on the new one?
I'm finishing up the last song, not the one that you've heard. The last song, I'm finishing that one up right now. It's almost done. It'll probably be done, I want to say, within like the next week and a half, if I can finish up some of the vocals in time, which I'm sure I will. It's just vocals are their pain.
Oh, yes.
But, yeah, there's just a little bit of finishing up on the vocals, a little bit of mixing to do, and then it should be good to go. And it's been hectic because I have been jamming with the Neuralizer guys, I've been jamming with the Dark Cell guys, and then I'm, going to school for animation. So it's been a wild ride, on top of having 2 jobs for a while too. So it's been busy, but it's been good.
Well, I'm glad to see you're keeping as busy as you are too, because you're definitely, at least in my opinion, one of the best rising stars out of the Twin Cities. And I think if anyone is going to be able to branch out of the Twin Cities, it definitely can be you, because, again, I can't stress it enough, and I'm glad that you do have this mindset of having absolutely zero limitations on what you're going to be doing.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's a huge compliment. It's nice to hear that, too, because you work so hard for so long, and, you in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't feel like I'm getting progress, but then you hear things like that, and you're not the only one who said that, too. There's a lot of people in the local scene who have really been, pushing for me, and I couldn't be more grateful, man. I mean, I'm surrounded, not only that, considering I'm surrounded by, like, such talented people. The Neuralizer guys are amazingly talented. The Dark Cell guys are amazingly talented. So, for all those guys, and yourself, and other people in the scene, to be pushing for me is just I don't even have words to describe it. You know what I mean? I feel so blessed, and I feel like I'm just surrounded by positive energy. I couldn't thank all of you guys enough.
Oh, not a problem, man. I mean, I love supporting the best in music. I don't care if it's my next door neighbor, I don't care if it's the next state over, I don't care if it's on the other side of the world. Like, it seems like, especially around here, and I'm sure it's the case in all the other music scenes around, where there's only two kinds of people, where it seems like you only care about the local scene, or you only care about what's on the radio. And I really want to be able to change that to just caring about good music. It doesn't matter where it comes from, it doesn't matter what genre it is, it doesn't matter about any of that stuff, as long as it's good music, because I think that's what deserves to be promoted. Not just support the local scene, or just listen to what's on Top 40 because it's easy. Just, like, go out there and find the best music that you want to listen to.
Right. No, I couldn't agree more, man.
Yeah, definitely. And, again, with your EP and everything being as awesome as it is from what I've heard so far, is there any chance of any of those songs coming to fruition live?
Say that again?
Oh, sorry. My throat kind of was messing up there.
Okay.
With your EP and all of the songs that you got going on with your solo stuff, much like Cloud Kicker, is there any chance of any of these songs coming to fruition live?
Potentially. I actually haven't thought about that. That might be something I will consider doing.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're such great songs, and obviously you are capable of playing everything except for the drums right now, but I'm sure if you put enough time into it, you would be able to do the drums as well. But, I mean, just like Cloud Kicker, everyone wanted to hear those songs live, and then Ben finally went out and got the Inch Knock guys and did at least one tour with Cloud Kicker. It'd be really cool to even see at least one show to hear some of those songs live.
Right. I mean, I guess I have put a little bit of thought into the live show, and I haven't put a ton of thought into it because I have kind of an idea of what I'd like my show to be like live, but it'd be, you know, I don't want to give too much away of what I want to do, but I definitely, you know, I might be able to get it up and running within the next couple months. But the thing is about my show, and I'm kind of worried about it because I am a solo artist, and I'm not like a big name yet, so I can't just hire a musician. I would probably most likely be on stage by myself playing with backing tracks, and I'm a little like, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure how the scene's going to take it, because I know there are some audience members out there that would literally turn their back to that, and I understand. You know, I absolutely understand why they would do that, but, you know, in my situation, it's just like, I have to do what I have to do, and I feel like, to this day, even though I personally do believe that the internet is now the strongest way to really get yourself out there, live shows are still, in my opinion, the second strongest way, because you can put so much music out on the internet, and it can be really awesome, but these great songs will have such a better impact if you're performing them live, especially this high energy, like extreme metal stuff. And I put a lot of thought into that. It's just that I've been kind of hesitant about making a move on it, just because I'm not sure how the scene would react to it. But at the same time, I got to do what I got to do, right? So I'm probably am going to build up a set list of a bunch of these different songs from all my EPs and start rehearsing on my own and to see if it's comfortable. And if it's comfortable, then I'll probably start to try to book shows, and, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, I'll definitely put out all the information on that as soon as I can.
Oh, definitely. And again, you should feel nothing wrong with keeping to your vision as well, because again, with having no limitations and no compromise, you gotta be comfortable with the music that you're making. And again, you know, just like you're building your name right now, so you might not be able to get all the musicians that you want to be able to perform the songs to your specifications. If you gotta use backing tracks, if you gotta use a laptop or whatever the situation is, I see nothing wrong with that, as long as you're up there actually performing something as well. Like, you're actually, I'm assuming you'd be like guitar and vocals or something like that. As long as you're actually doing that, I see no problem with that.
Well, that's cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've talked to a few different people about it, and they don't see much of a problem with it. I just, I know myself well enough to know that if I were to see that, I would be like, oh man, well, where's the guy's band? But at the same time, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I mean, it doesn't really surprise me. I don't think it would surprise anybody that this would be the route that I take, because I'm kind of shooting for the stars, and I think when somebody's really pushing to do something big and awesome, they're gonna be put in dilemmas like this, no matter what you're doing. You know, so I'm probably gonna just end up doing it like that anyway, regardless of what the feedback is, just because, you know, like you said, you gotta really follow your vision and just do what you can to make your dreams come true. So yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. I'm hoping within like the next couple months. Again, I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it just yet, because I've really just been like recording, and I've got these other side projects I've been messing around with. But yeah, I will definitely keep you updated on live shows for sure.
Awesome, and I'll definitely be one of the people there in support when you make that happen.
Awesome, cool. thank you.
Oh, not a problem. Just to wrap things up here, I just realized now we've been on the phone for about 34 minutes now, which, again, I'm happy to be able to support you this much. I've been asking...
Well, I was figuring it would be a lot shorter, like 10, 15 minutes.
No, when I do an interview, I want to make sure that I can get every possible thing that I can possibly get out, make sure that whoever I'm interviewing gets all the promotion that they can, anything they want to plug, all of that stuff.
Yeah, and me, I try to give as much of an answer as I can. I don't like to... I hate it when anytime I've seen interviews and they give really brief answers. I hate that.
Oh yeah, me too. Having done as many as I have, like, it just makes it seem like when they give a short answer, it's like they really don't want to be there. They don't want to be answering these questions and they just want to get it over with, which then in turn it's like it gives me no reason to want to keep going with that particular interview if they're not even going to be interested in it.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you, since I'm asking everybody right now, since it's already August 31st, do you have any favorite albums 2015 so far?
You know, I honestly haven't really listened to too much from 2015. Yeah, I'm kind of lost in the loop. I've been listening to a lot of older material. I've been listening to a lot of like old Porcupine Tree, and I've been listening to a lot of older Devin Townsend music. I've been listening to a lot of rap music from like mid 2000s. So I've been listening to a lot of soundtracks from like the 90s. So I honestly haven't really paid too much attention to what's been coming out in 2015. When did Z2 come out? That came out last year, didn't it? Yeah,
it did.
Okay, yeah. I'm out of the loop.
No, there's nothing wrong with that though. I mean, it's like, I know with how much work I put into like putting out brand new music, I know there's no one else out there that would even want to devote as much time as I do as to putting out brand new music. But it's awesome to see that you're going back and like listening to your early inspirations, you know, like Porcupine Tree, early Devin, rap, soundtrack, that's all that stuff. Because like the more I listen to what you're doing, the more that I can hear that inspiration in there as well. It's cool to see.
What's your favorite album of 2015?
There's honestly like no clear-cut winner for me so far. I mean, usually like if Devin puts out an album, that's usually going to be either number 1 or number 2. If Dream Theater does, it's either number 1 or number 2. Right now, my favorite album is this from a band called Native Construct, which to me is essentially what Between the Buried and Me should have been doing after they put out the album Colors. They're kind of continuing in that direction. But like more symphonic, more progressive. It's like, it's really cool stuff. I'm going to be seeing them at Prog Power in Atlanta, and then they're going to be touring here with Between the Buried and Me, Enslaved, and Intronaut at the Skyway. I think it's either in October or November. I can't remember the date offhand, but that's going to be a great show.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check them out. I haven't heard of them. I mean, you know a lot more metal bands than I do, but I'll definitely have to give them a listen.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, kind of like the whole central theme of this interview is like they have like no limitations on their music. I mean, they all went to Berkeley and just like put out this killer album of like Between the Buried and Me inspired, but even more technical, more symphonic, more genre bending stuff than Between the Buried and Me. It's really cool stuff.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, well, you have me at no limitations, so yeah, man, definitely. You should like send me a link on Facebook or something like that.
Yeah, sure, man. I'll send you a link right after I hit stop on the recorder.
Awesome, sweet, dude.
Oh, awesome. All right, well, we just hit the 38-minute mark. Just want to make sure no one gets bored on the radio show or anything, just hearing two guys talk the whole time. Is there anything else that you would like to plug or mention or anything?
I want to thank everyone that's listening to the show and that listened to the whole interview. I want to thank Josh, I want to thank you for accepting to do an interview with me, and I hope everyone enjoys the new music, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys at a live show.
Awesome. I'll definitely be looking forward to the new release, all of the bands that you're a part of, and anything else you got going on.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.